Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Tenor. It is Wednesday after the bell. Welcome, everybody. We have a lot of important information going on today. We had a nice reversal here intraday, and it just seemed like we were going to sink to the abyss. It just relentless selling. I do believe it was a climatic selling point. I have two scenarios that I've been talking about happening when we get this reversal, and it's really starting to lean to where we have a much bigger bearish scenario than anticipated. So super important. Stick around and make sure you watch all of this. We're going to go through SPY on the weekly, daily, and 65-minute. We'll map out what we think the two scenarios are going to be, and how we'll recognize them. And yeah, so don't forget to like the video. If you're new here, go down to that bottom right hand corner, hit that Options Tenor logo, and subscribe. We have all kinds of good information for you if you're trading the market, or at least just interested in learning something about it with technical analysis. Okay. And if you want to help out in any other way, feel free to go down to the description. There's multiple ways down there. So we have SPY on the weekly time frame. Yesterday's video, we talked about this support area, that it's a zone. We spiked through it, and we're starting. The week's not over yet. We have a couple days of trading, so we're starting to get that reversal, but very similar to, gapping down here and recovering. The spikes here, those tail candles here. Look at that huge tail candle. So this zone is very important, and even as resistance as well. Resistance here. The week was, these are weekly candles, and this week clearly was up here, and you thought, oh my gosh, this thing is breaking out. It's never going to end. And then sometime during the week, clearly at the later portion of the week, you had a reversal off of this zone. We had a little bit of reaction here. Stayed on top of it, and now spiking through it. Can we continue down? Of course we can, but we do think we got our reversal happening here. So let's check this out on the daily time frame. Daily trend is our friend. All right, so we broke down from this consolidation area, which makes a very good support and resistance. We have these boxed in zones where these supports and resistance are. Now, we weren't at one in particular, but we have a gap here. So we held the gap. I think we may have closed the gap. I think we were off by a few pennies there. So we reversed off of that gap, and we're headed back into that pivot, which was clearly important there because we got a reaction off it and the support. So we'll see if we can regain this pivot and resistance, and consider this, on the weekly time frame, you'll see a spike. You won't see like the daily. We'll have to work hard intraday to get over these areas. We might get a rejection here, come back, and then retry. I do think that we get above it. I'm thinking we're going to regain it. We have our initial move down, a retracement, and another move, which I think is complete. And yes, I said that right. I think this move is complete here. Okay, so stick around. Like I said, we're on a 65-minute. We're going to show you what we have going on. So on the Elliott wave, I'll show you the pathway that we're looking for. Okay, on this 65-minute chart here, you see we have our relentless selling. We have this channel bottom, but you can also draw this as a wedge. If all this move is one move, whoops, we'll draw this in a highlighted way here. So that would be our wedge. You can draw it like that. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're at the bottom of the channel, and now we're breaking out of that real fast-moving trend line here. So I think we are likely to retest the channel top. I think that at minimum, if we break out from the channel, gosh, you know, it's so tough. And I'll show you why. Then we're definitely going to test. This is the neckline for the Head and Shoulders. Well, we break above this neckline, and then we have something else going on. We already reached the bottom of the expected move here. I don't see us in 2 days reaching this expected move up here, but we can, if we're bullish, we do get our reversal, then it's very possible we start breaking higher levels going into Monday and the next week. Now, we have all kinds of positive divergences every which way you look at it. I could show you all of them, but it's going to take a lot of time. They're positive divergence formed. And, you know, we thought this bounce area right here was the end. So we made a mistake, and I take that very seriously. We gapped down, had to rearrange our positions, and ended on the lows here. Okay, so that if I'm not making money, that, you know, it's likely that people are watching this are not making money unless they're doing the opposite of what I'm talking about. Hopefully, you're making your own decisions. This isn't clearly advice. This is educational. But then again, I made our video yesterday and said, hey, I think we have the bottom here. My God, I think we have the bottom here. According to our Elliott wave count, according to just about everything that we have to offer, we had some sort of bottom. And what we were looking for was, you know, I was counting this, and all this made sense. And making one more low was in the cards, but we had this move here that we had to counter on the bottom here. So we thought we were gonna get a reversal for a wave 4, something large. But what I think may have happened is that's our small wave 4. This is large and complex. In the rule of alternation, this is a very small wave 4, and we got our final wave 5 to complete this entire move right here. This waterfall effect that we had today, endless and bidless, I should say, and we're starting to lose the channel and just regain it, ripped to the upside for that reversal. All right, so that's what gave us our doji for the daily time frame. So we do need confirmation tomorrow, or whenever we need a confirmation. We need to get over today's high. We need to close above today's high in order to confirm a reversal. All right, now let's look at this Elliott wave picture. And then we'll actually run through a bunch of names here. We'll go through the big tech names that I have, and so it kind of sets us up for our alternative count. And I'm going to show you here in just a minute. You'll see that all these different tech stocks follow to give us clues that we might be getting a bigger bounce than we think, which is setting up for a more bearish move. Okay, so right now we have the initial wave 1 and a 3-wave move correction for 2. And now, if I am conservative and just follow what our game plan, we had to adjust our retracements here because we went lower. And somehow this is a 1, 2, and then you have 3, 4, 5 in this as our wave 3. All right, and now we're looking for an ABC to wave 4, and we go lower from there. And that would match what we're looking for at this 162% from here. So we're looking for the wave 3 to end around this area here. Okay, so this scenario would fit that just fine to where we have a nice walking down 5-wave move for a wave 3, and then we get our larger degree wave 4, and we head down from there. Okay, so this is the nice, clean, easy pathway. But what I think the market is hinting, not only do we have all kinds of headline risk and things like that, so that's something to keep in mind. I don't really watch that stuff, but we'll see. So here's our alternate plan. All right, so this is the primary 1, 2, and then a 5-wave move in between for wave 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, but here's our alternate plan, and this is a clue right here. This is the Elliott wave oscillator. The Elliott oscillator, so you can use this if you have Thinkorswim, and this gave us our bullish divergence. It actually gave us bullish divergence going through this move, and we thought this thing wasn't going any lower, and then we gap up and crap. We gap and crap for another move down, which set another divergence. So I was buying into this move, sweating but buying. So we had a nice reversal and got some of that money back. Okay, so here's our alternate. Super important because I'm starting to lean this way. Now, in this alternate scenario, get rid of 3. We have our initial wave 1, wave 2, but like I said in the other videos, it's possible that we're looking for another 1, 2. And then that would be much more bearish to the downside. So getting close in here, and then I'll back it up again. I'll work with you, show you what's happening here. We have in the purple our 1, 2, and this is what I was counting this. I was counting this out, and that's why I didn't think we were going to get this other low like this. I thought we were going to get a bigger wave 4 bounce. But now this fits perfect to complete this move here. Okay, purple wave 1, 2, yellow 1, 2, red 1, 2. So those are all different degrees of waves. And now we have to complete those waves. You have a 5-wave move down here for 3, retrace for 4, 3 of a higher degree, 4, 3 of this higher degree, 4 with the gap up, and then our last move down here, capitulation into wave 5, which would give us the beginning of wave 1. Okay? You getting what you understanding? Now, a typical wave 2 would pull back to about the 62% retracement. We can go 50 to 60%. And what does that do? That back tests this triangle here. And so it makes sense. We'll get some sort of ABC, especially if it's impulsive to where we get a zigzag. We get another zigzag, and that's possible wave 2 there. But if the market wants to waste time, you know, we can still, it's common to get a zigzag in wave 2, but we can still get a flat pattern. So we'll have to be careful. A flat pattern can fit in the wave 3 or going into wave 4, or it can go into the one going into wave 2. So it's going to be confusing. And like I said in earlier videos, this doesn't have to, even for this to count as a wave 2, we might only come to the 38.2 because we're getting real bearish. And the momentum's shifting to the downside. We might only come to the 50%. What I will tell you is that if we come back to the 382 and we're back testing that neckline and we reject off of it and we start heading lower, that's I will label it as a wave 4, but I will keep in mind that it still could be a shallow wave 2 because we're getting in all these series of wave 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a 1, 2. Okay, so we can start getting more stretched out and more shallow and more bearish. Okay, pulling out a bit more. If we do retrace all the way back to the 62% retracement, then we're back testing the triangle, and we'll be looking for a measured move, an extension for this turquoise. Let me make it turquoise so we matchy the colors. So for this move, this 1, 2, the measured move for its wave 3 is down at the 391. Okay, we're going to surpass that other one that we were talking about for the larger degree wave. That's going to be much lower. Okay, just for this one, this turquoise 1, 2, we'll have a wave 3 much lower, and that's probably going to be a catalyst where it just seems like we can't stop. Like the market's just going to go into an abyss, and we're going to have gaps, and fast spikes for retracements and sold right into. Okay, so this is a very bearish scenario to where we're just getting these larger moves here. Okay, so it's possible you pull back to the 62% retracement. We don't know which one it's going to be. If it pulls back shallow, we're still going to keep in mind that this could be a wave 4 or 2. And so how will we be able to tell? We're going to get an impulsive move either way. But will we stop? We'll have to see how big those waves are. Wave 1, if you get a wave 1 down here and a very shallow wave 2 and maybe just some sort of little bear flag pattern, we're not gonna. We start moving down here, we're not gonna go into any counter trend moves. We're just flat out going to the downside. Okay, so this should be a nice big wave 5 anyway. If this is a wave 4 into 5 into this 411 area. Okay, notice that the 62% retracement from the highs is exactly where our other target would be. So there's a lot of symmetry going there. But that's if we pull back all the way to the 440 area, the 62% retracement, then we'll be looking to target this 391, okay, which would be the 62% retracement of this large move. Okay, so I hope that's clear. We'll discuss these. So make sure you hit the bell, that notification button, because we do these videos often as we can. So we're looking for, either way, we're looking for our bounce, our reversal bounce here. I don't think we're going to stop at the 23.6. It's really shallow. We stop there and all hell's breaking loose. Okay. I do think we get at least the 382 and then possibly higher. Okay. Either way, we'll start scaling into our shorts, because this is, don't let it fool you like it did. It fooled us once here already, saying, hey, we're bearish. Our moves are going to be shallow. We start getting a move down. I don't care, even if it's from the 23.6, we'll be ready. We start getting our moves down, we're not going to be buying any dips. No dips on this move, because wave 5 is going to be pretty harsh to end this wave 3 here, or it just keeps going. You'll probably get a reaction off of here. If it's the more bearish scenario, you'll probably get a reaction off here. And like I said, it's going to be shallow, like bear flag type or triangle, where it's really small. No bounce at all, hardly, and then just continue to aggressively move down. So that was really important. So why am I going to go through all these names here? Because there's two ways that most of these names come out as. They either are similar to the market, where you have a 1-2 like Apple here, you have a possible 1, 2, and then a 1, 2 scenario. What this ended up being here, guys, was a triangle wave 4. So this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, big old triangle, and a completed 5. Okay, so that's not long enough to, unless this just keeps crushing the market straight down. This is just another 1, 2. Okay, so a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. And Apple's very, very influential on the market. And so if Apple's showing a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup, then it's very likely that the market is going to pull back to that 1, 2 setup as well. So we'll have to watch these names. Look at Amazon. Amazon is just straight up a 1, 2. So that even goes along with the fact that we just completed a 1. During this price action here, the market was going lower rather than making a new high here. So this is the other scenario where we have a 1, 2 that we're coming into. And so the market is going into a 1, 2. Doesn't matter what happened back here. This is going to pull back for a wave 2 as well. So the market's going to follow suit. Meta's a whole different beast. Meta, we have a nice 1, 2 setup here. You had possibly a leading diagonal. You have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a leading diagonal and a 2. And so I'm long Meta already to where this thing just gets new highs. Okay. And so it's possible that this might still be a 1, 2 where this is an A, a B, because we have an A at the B triangle and a C here for that aggressive move at the end of the towards the end of that move today to complete a B, and then an impulsive C up to the 786. So that's possible. This could still be a wave 2. But other than that, we'll have to, if it keeps going higher and pulling the market, then this is a wave 4 completed, and we have a 1, 2, and we see much higher prices. So I think it's a little bit more probable that this is an A, B, and we get a C up here. But if it keeps going, then anything's possible to keep the market going. So either way, no matter what's happening, we think we go up from here. Okay. Google, just an initial impulse down. So we're looking at this being a 1 and a 2. So that's going to guide the market back up for possibly a further wave 2. So that's why I'm starting to lean into that 1, 2, 1, 2 scenario, which is much more bearish. And this is a 1, 2, again, 1, 2, just like the market. Tesla hasn't even made a new low. Again, 1, 2, and you have a 5-wave move here, possibly complete for a 1, 2. NVIDIA is a little funky. This can all be counted. I can either count this as 1 wave here and a wave 2, which that's what I have. But it doesn't matter that much for our retracement purposes. It could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. The highs over here are such equal that it almost doesn't matter which one I do the retracement. It's not going to adjust very much. We're going to be out of our position. I'm pretty heavy into NVIDIA calls today because it's breaking out of the channel already. So I hope, showing you all of these tech stocks and they usually lead the market. I hope that this helps you see what I'm looking at, and I'm really thinking that we can get a higher move and that it's a wave 2, even if we don't get the higher move. Maybe the rest of the market is kind of dragging, but even if you look at the financials like JP Morgan, and this move here, let's go over to the Elliott wave. This initial move here, sorry about all this clutter, is an impulsive move, a 5-wave move. And the wave 2, supposedly, there's 5-wave move up, is going into the 382. Well, that would be bullish if it, 5-wave impulse move. Well, I think we're getting a zigzag of 535, or if you're counting this as a 3 somehow, maybe that's 535 right there to complete, then that would be an A. We're getting a flat pattern for B, and then your more substantial correction up into the 62% retracement like it was supposed to. That's where we want to see the wave 2 come into. And so even with the financials, you're still looking for a pullback higher. And that would go right along. This should be an impulse move now, which would be right along with our scenario where the market still has much higher to go for the retracement, and that it shouldn't be a small wave 4. So again, I can't stress enough that we have to be careful not to short too early. That are more, I'm just really leaning towards this alternate situation, and that we go down much harder, much faster. But we have to be aware that it can be a shallow wave 4. But I showed you the count here. It fits. It fits perfectly. I know it's awkward with this big old move here, is exact opposite from this little teeny weeny move here. And so myself and most people are probably expecting something very similar in that move, to where you get a big wave 4 to counteract this big wave 1, 2. You get that 4-5 here. But like I said, either way, even if it's a shallow bounce, I'm still going to keep in my mind that that this is possibly a wave 2, and we're just heading much lower, much faster. The momentum's starting to the downside, you guys. It's starting to affect the bounces. It's starting to affect all this. Now we're getting very shallow bounces. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is just a wave 2 pullback, and we go much lower, much more aggressive with some sort of catalyst like the government shutdown and all the things people are talking about with inflation and things like that. So I hope that helps. That's all I got for you. Wait, one more. How about, let's also, sorry to not end it there. I know this is getting a little lengthy. Also, look at Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does the same thing, has a nice big move to the upside, that's just going to create a head and shoulders here. And that would, again, go right along with an ABC correction, to where we have a bigger move headed to the upside for a correction, just like the market. Okay, so that would help lead with tech. All right. Last thing, I promise this time, is the VIX. Now look at the VIX. Look at here. So we looked at this yesterday. We don't have our moving averages on. We can... Okay, I had to get those moving averages back on here. And, we're rejecting off of this 19. And it's the same thing I was talking about yesterday. We have this impulse move to the upside. I thought it would have been done with this tail candle off of the 200-day moving average. So we thought we were done there. And then clearly the market faked us out. It went higher and then was rejecting off of 19. And so we thought we had the bottom again. And then today was relentless as well. But we got our reversal again with more bearish divergence for the VIX. So a big retracement, possibly back to this 1550 area, would probably send the market pretty high. Either it's going to be a dull market and the VIX just drops, or we're going to get that nice sharp move that I was talking about for a retracement on the SPY, and the VIX gets hammered down as well. And then we look for more bearish movement off of somewhere like this. You know, we can consider this look at this chop zone. That's what I talk about when we look at SPY and other charts. You have a chop zone. Well, this is just at the top of the chop zone reversing, and we can go right to the bottom. It's a range play. Top, reverse, bottom, reverse, up. Okay? All right. I'm going to stop talking your ear off. Thanks for joining us here. Don't forget to like the video. If anything helps, if you want to help us out, go down in the description. Plenty of things there. Free Discord. Check us out. I'm in the room most of the day. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.